Weight Loss Wednesday, and this week we're going to be talking about the benefits of berberine for weight loss. So, berberine is a phytonutrient. It comes in many plants and it gets harvested into a supplement. It's become more popular recently because it's always brought into the conversation when we're talking about Ozempic, the semaglutide injections you get for weight loss. So berberine itself is amazing for the body, which I'm going to cover the exact reasons why and why it's absolutely fantastic for weight loss and why it's a topic of conversation. Now, if you were to search berberine right now, you would find a mixture of reviews. The reason you're going to find that is because a lot of the pharmaceutical companies that make a lot of money from their Ozempic, which is very expensive, are trying to slam berberine because berberine is very, very natural and they can't exactly make a lot of money on that one. So when you read it, they're like, oh, it's this, it's that, and it causes all these side effects. It's like, well, look at the side effects of Ozempic. So it's the best natural alternative. So berberine is a phytonutrient and it's amazing for regulating blood sugars. It's good for repairing and increasing the numbers of mitochondria in the cell. That's very, very important. It does something extremely important, which mimics exercise, which we're going to get to. But the key things, it also has anti-cancer benefits as well and helps in the neurons. There's lots of benefits to berberine. One of the key ones for weight loss is because it's great for regulating blood sugars. Now, it almost goes toe to toe with metformin. Now, metformin is used as the sort of main, or not main ingredient, one of the main medications used in type 2 diabetes, and it's good for lowering your A1C. Now, berberine, and there's been a lot of studies into this, almost goes toe to toe with the pharmaceutical without all the side effects, right? And it does that by helping to regulate blood sugar and reversing insulin resistance. Now, those are a whole bunch of terms that you think, God, there's a lot of information here. But insulin resistance is a huge, huge problem to a lot of conditions. Now, where does this come about, right? Keep it nice and simple. When you consume sugar, your body will release insulin so that it keeps your blood sugar levels at an appropriate level. Because as you consume the sugar or the carbohydrates refined, the blood gets flooded with sugar. High blood sugar levels are bad. They're damaging to the neurons or the nerve endings, and they cause lots and lots of problems. Also make the body very acidic. So the body then releases insulin to then process and push those sugars into the muscle cells around them. The problem is that when you're constantly bombarding yourself with sugars, as we typically do in a Western diet, or if you're not following any diet at all and you're just eating what you like, then what happens is your body starts pushing out insulin all the time. Now, if you imagine you've got a doorway and you've got an orderly line of people walking through, you're not going to have any problems. When suddenly you're bombarded with a huge crowd, coupled with a rush to get inside, everybody tries to jam in through one door and people end up getting turned away or hurt. This is basic analogy for what happens when you are insulin resistant. There's too much insulin coming into the system and they're all competing for the same receptor sites and eventually gets to the point where it doesn't do its job properly. The problem with this is then encourages even more insulin to be released into the body. All of this because you're consuming far too much sugar. Now, we all do. We go through periods when we're taking on sugars, and sometimes they're very hidden sugars. We're eating foods we think are healthy for us, but they're actually got a lot of refined sugars hidden within them. Even too much fruit can cause problems because fruit is a disaccharide, and there is sugar in there too. Not as simple as an almost a simple sugar. It's a disaccharide, a double molecule. But long story short, consuming too much sugar will lead to insulin resistance. Insulin resistance for too long will lead to type 2 diabetes and potentially type 1. So that is a huge, huge problem. And what berberine does is it helps reverse the insulin resistance and helps lower blood sugar levels, your A1C levels, without the need for the high end insulin. Now, why it's really, really important for weight loss. Now, insulin resistance aside and lowering blood sugar, because that's all key for a weight loss plan, so it does something really magical and it stimulates something known as AMP kinase. Now, AMP kinase comes into effect when you've done intense exercise, right? So basically, when you exercise, your muscle's main source of energy is ATP, which is adenosine triphosphate. That's what your muscles, a tiny, tiny, tiny molecule that your muscles use to operate. Maybe when you were back doing biology in school, you maybe learned all about the Krebs cycle, and you probably would have heard of ATP then. ATP being used by the muscles, and then it going around the Krebs cycle to get replenished and whatnot. Now, when you use ATP in abundance, in high levels, ATP comes down, and there's an ADP, and there's also the spare molecule AMP, right? Now, if you're just doing moderate exercise, let's say you went for a walk, your ATP levels would fluctuate, but because your Krebs cycle replaced them at a moderate rate, there's not too much of a drama. But when you do intense exercise, when you really work hard, if you're doing sprint training, weight training, HIIT training, that kind of stuff that's really, really intense, it depletes your ATP quite quickly, and of course, AMP levels go up. And when the ratio is really, really big, the body then was like, whoa, 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 and it releases something known as AMP kinase. And this happens when you exercise. When AMP kinase comes into effect, your body stops storing fat and actually maximizes your fat burning. This is where the term becoming catabolic comes into effect, right? So that when you people say when you work out and you work really hard, your body becomes catabolic. This is exactly it. Your body just starts breaking down calories at a higher rate. Now, intense exercise stimulates this. That goes without saying. So you want to be making sure you're getting intense exercise. But berberine also stimulates to a small degree the AMP kinase. So actually, if you include this in your weight loss routine, you will get the benefit of that too. Now, that is not to say that you do not need to exercise. That's not true whatsoever. It's not like you could just, do a diet, take your berberine, no exercise required. Nonsense, because we still need our exercise to work our muscles, to build lean muscle tissue, to then increase our overall basal metabolic rates so that we can get away with more eating further down the line. But ultimately, the berberine is going to give you that boost. It's going to help regulate your blood sugar levels. It's going to help reverse any insulin resistance. Okay, it will increase the number of mitochondria in the cells and repair any damaged mitochondria that are there, which is huge. It will help damage anything in the nerve endings as well. It's very, very good for that. So it's like one of those super supplements that you should definitely consider. And as I said before, if you are diabetic, definitely research it and talk to your doctor about it because it goes toe to toe with metformin for lowering A1C levels, and basically it's got far less side effects. So the benefits to berberine for a weight loss plan will lower your blood sugar levels, which is great. So for managing things again, we want to keep blood sugars down and we want to maximize our fat burning potential. And it also encourages AMP kinase, which is that magic stuff that comes into effect with intense exercise. Definitely one of my weapons for choice whenever I'm trying to lower body fat. I'm currently researching the benefits to having it off season, if you like, and there's some really, really good stuff out there with research coming through as to why you should be taking it on a regular basis. So whether it enters my champion of champions supplements yet, we'll wait and see. But at the moment, I'm very, very tempted to have it on a regular. But certainly when I'm on a weight loss journey, whenever I'm trying to lower my body fat, berberine is definitely one of my tools. I'll just quickly go to the messages. Where's the live? Oh, messages if I want to see them right. Oh, no, 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 hold on. Show chat, that's the wrong button. Right, Sheila's on, Izzy's on. Happy days. If anybody has any questions, let me know. Like I say, berberine is fairly inexpensive. I think in the UK you'll get it between £8 and £12 a tub, and it'll last you a while. It's not expensive. You can understand why pharmaceutical companies might want to downplay it. Remember that something like berberine, it's not a magic pill. You do need to have a good structured diet plan. You do need to be exercising and you do need to be moving, but it will absolutely give you that little added bonus, that boost that you might be looking for. And if you are diabetic or pre-diabetic, then definitely research it and talk to your doctor about it too, because it will make a huge benefit to your blood sugar levels without the requirement of taking pharmaceutical drugs. Any questions at all before I leave you all to it? Oh, metformin is also used to treat polycystic ovarian syndrome. Yeah, 100%. Yeah. So you should look into it then, Amanda, as well, if that's for the benefits to that too, because it does mimic it in a lot of ways. Definitely worth it. All right, any other questions at all before I leave you to it? All right. Have an awesome week ahead, everyone. And as always, every Wednesday there is a weight loss related topic, which I will then host and delve into. Have a great week ahead. Bye bye.